growing rooms are state-of-the-art, and Raymond Codd showed me how these unique vegetables are grown.
What we're trying to do here is we're trying to mimic the outside conditions. 17 days ago this house would have been empty, and we would have filled it with our compost and our peat moss on top.
All these trays,
All these trays.
These are stacked, what, 3, 5, 6 high?
6 high, yes.
Is the seed embedded into that?
The seed is embedded into the compost when we get it,
Yeah.
and it will grow its little roots up through the peat moss. And then we will tweak the environment in here to get the mushrooms to start to fruit.
And what are you tweaking?
We're tweaking the temperature, the humidity, the CO2 level, and even the wind speed, the speed of the air passing over the crop. We try just to get everything perfect, just to get the perfect flush.
How many days old, for example, are these mushrooms here?
These mushrooms, there's some of them 3 days old.
That's just 3 days
just
old?
3 days old, yes. And
Wow.
they grow very fast. They will double in size overnight.
So what are you going to get out of this particular room here?
This room we hope to get about £700 for every tonne of compost.
Okay.
So
A
it's
lot of mushrooms.
Yeah.
The Irish mushroom industry expanded rapidly in the 1980s when plastic tunnels made it an ideal alternative farm enterprise. But the industry has changed radically ever since. This room produces over 100 tonnes of mushrooms every single year. That's a lot of mushrooms, but more importantly, it's an awful lot of picking. Joyce, you're the woman that's going to show me how to actually... And this is the business end of the business, so to speak, is it?
This is what makes it all work at the end of the day. So get your bum down there.
All right, okay.
Okay, the first thing you need is going to be a knife.
Yeah.
And let's get your hairnet on you.
All right, okay. Hygiene
is critical. All our pickers are trained on hygiene, good housekeeping. They're all issued with their own scales, their own growing numbers, their own knives. So every punnet that is in the shop, we'll be able to trace it back to the picker if there was ever any incident with it.
Okay.
So basically you get your knife,
Yeah.
okay, and what you're trying to do is replicate what's picked there, okay?
That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
Okay. So what weight is in this now?
It's a 225 gram pack.
Okay.
You're going to be paid by what you
what
pick
I
in
pick.
that, yes. So it's very important that you're picking at least 53 pounds per hour to ensure that you're getting your rate.
£53 per hour. That's
Correct.
106 of these.
That's 106 of those.
Oh my
so
God.
we'll give you a few weeks to train in first.
All right, okay.
Certainly the pickers that we have are well able to achieve the rate.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see if I'm up to the mark.
Twist and push, okay?
Okay,
Push.
so just...
Push, yeah. Don't be worried. Don't be afraid of it. Okay.
dear.
Okay, so
So I've messed up that
you've
one.
messed up that one. So
And then
yeah.
you're supposed to nip off that there
Correct, yeah,
and throw it
place
into the thing.
Yeah. Okay, we won't be throwing it into it because a mushroom is like an egg. If you throw it around, it's going to get bruised.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Grand.
So,
and can I
again,
go
try
for any
again.
size in here now? Or
What we're trying
is
to
that
achieve
okay
is
there?
the same size of mushroom at all times. Okay,
Okay.
this one's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so just push, twist. Okay. Unfortunately, Dara.
I'm not really
Yeah.
cutting mustard here, am I?
So push and twist.
I've made a bags of that.
Stay with the day job, Dara. Unfortunately, stick with the day job.
Damn. Okay, well, at least I gave it my best shot.
Absolutely.
The pickers have to earn their day's wages,
They
though,
certainly
don't they?
do, and they have to keep picking. You know, it's early rise. People start picking at 6 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, it's not an easy job.
Yeah.
You know, it is skilled labour. So yeah, the pressure is on them to ensure that they pick the same size mushroom at all times,
Okay.
and they pick to product specification. That's what the consumer wants, and that's what we want.
I think the farms have got a lot bigger and a lot more professional, and the fact is only about 10% of the farms still in business. They're far bigger, and they can employ people for human resources. They can make it a much better environment to work in and treat their staff really how they should be treated.
The focus now is on reducing costs and growing mushrooms in an environmentally sustainable way. One of the ways Leslie has gone about doing this is by buying a second-hand wind turbine to produce his own green electricity.
We have built a 160 kilowatt wind turbine that is supplying the farm with about 30 to 40% of its electricity supply. And we've also installed a wood chip heating system that heats the farm and creates steam to steam sterilise and humidify the farm. Very basically, it's reduced our energy costs in the region of €100,000 a year. Our mushroom production unit is considered to be the most environmentally friendly in the world. And the product's also grown without any pesticides, and it is a top quality product that goes into the packs.
From a farmyard enterprise in plastic tunnels to a state-of-the-art food production facility.
I'm going to take you on a tour of the facility. I'm going to start right here where we use your traditional standard peat pucks we get from a great company called Jiffy Products. After these pucks are saturated with an organic-based fertilizer, they end up looking like this. They grow and hold nutrient and water for early stage seedlings. So after the peat pucks are saturated, we begin to seed them by hand. This takes about 2 hours every 4 days. We seed about 4,400 plants. The next phase is germination. This is what a plant looks like after 4 days of germination. As you can see, there's no roots coming out of this plant yet, so it's not ready to be moved to a different light cycle. There's enough saturation in the puck from the seeding when we flood the trays to hold this plant here like this without being watered for about 7 to 10 days. Now we're finally in phase 2 of germination. This is what the plants look like after 10 days from seed. As you can see, there's some small roots starting to develop. Still a little tender, not quite ready for the main farm. So what you're looking at up there are plants that are about a week further along than the plants that I showed you down here. They're now ready for the thinning process to go into the main farm. The root structures are developed enough that they can handle the colder temperatures. So now we're in the farm. Now what I'm going to show you is phase 3. These plants have been in this machine for about 10 days. As you can see, the roots are well grown and beads of water on them, feeding. There's 11 levels on this machine, all with 400 plants per level. These plants will go out of this lid into a lid that will have 25 plants on it, so they have all the room that they need to grow full mature heads of lettuce, 12 months of the year, anywhere in the world. So this is TerraSphere. We design, build, and will be operating facilities all over the world soon. Without the use of pesticides, herbicides, or fungicides, and zero water waste, we can mass produce food all over the planet. So with the equipment that you see standing behind me, we have the ability to mass produce spinach, strawberries, all the lettuces, all the herbs, and the possibilities are endless. So I believe that this could be a possible fix to help solve world hunger, not to mention the reduction of fossil fuel use. We have the ability to get food to the remote locations, urban centers, so please, let's open our eyes. This is happening right now.
Tissue culture is a means of producing whole plants from pieces of plant tissue. This is possible because each cell contains the genetic material necessary to regenerate an entire plant. The lab is divided into 4 sections: production process area, meristem room, transfer room, and growth room. The production process area is where all the strawberry and raspberry media is mixed and processed in the autoclave. 20 liters of media are made each day. The media are sterilized in autoclave. The media contains basic fertilizer elements: sugar, growth hormones in varying amounts depending on the type of media, agar for stability, and water. The growth hormones that are used are auxins and cytokinins, which control plant growth. In the tip room, new cultures of each variety are initiated when the meristems are excised from the plants. These mother plants are virus indexed and ELISA tested each year to ensure clean starting stock. The process of meristem collection begins in the spring and continues throughout the summer. The meristem is very small, about 1 millimeter. It is excised from the cane of the plant under a microscope using sterile instruments and a laminar airflow hood. The meristem is put in a test tube. Once it grows into a plantlet, it is transferred into multiplication media. It takes a few transfers onto fresh media for the plantlet to start to multiply. Once it does start to multiply, the process moves fairly quickly. Every 6 to 8 weeks, we take full jars of plants and transfer them onto fresh multiplication media, making an average of 2 to 3 jars from a full jar. A full jar of plants may contain 25 clumps of plants. The process of multiplying one meristem tip until there are plants ready to go to the greenhouse takes a minimum of 1 year. The number of plants that are made from one meristem varies depending on the variety. We only produce 100 plants of some varieties, and others we produce tens of thousands. In the transfer room, technicians transfer full jars of plants that have been growing for 6 to 8 weeks onto fresh jars of media. The growth room is where the jars of plants are stored for growth between transfer sessions.